Howdy, y'all. Welcome to another episode of CardBlitz. This is episode 31. I'm your host, Kelly Reed, joined by my good buddy, Patrick Marshall. Patrick, how's it going?
Good. How's everyone doing today? How you doing,
Hey,
Kelly?
good, man. We are rocking. It's August. We got some football games coming up Friday night, Saturday
That's
night.
right. Yep.
Baseball, man, starting to kind of get closer to September. These playoff races are starting to tighten up, so it's an exciting time.
Yeah, there's some good matchups in baseball. I'm glad you brought that up because I was looking at some of the series coming up, and you can flip like one or two games just from playing a rival who's right below you.
Oh
So
yeah, definitely. Critical time.
yeah, so pretty exciting.
All right, man. Well, let's get into birthdays, man. We always start off with that. So, whose
Yeah.
birthday is it today?
This guy is pretty special. So, a generational player on August 7th, 1991, the was introduced to this man, Mr. Mike Trout.
Nice, a
So,
Bowman Mike Trout card.
yeah, so got a, 2014 Bowman and not to be outdone, but a 2016 Bowman. So, I kind of missed these years of collecting. So it's kind of fun to go back through when I go to card shows or card shops. And I look for, just common Mike Trouts, guys like that I don't have of, like Aaron Judge even as well. But the Mike Trout cards are pretty neat. So,
Well, I was gonna say I've got one to share with you. It's from the new set that I'm working on. Topps
oh,
Heritage
that's cool. Yeah.
2025. So it's got that 1976 retro design, with
Yeah.
the old green stock on the back. It's dude, these heritage cards, they're sweet cards, man.
Yeah. I think they're great. I'm a big fan.
Well, I've got to ask you the big question, man, about Trout. So, is he still a lock, you think, for Cooperstown for the Hall of Fame?
I think just because of what he did at his time, and when I mentioned generational player at the beginning, some people hold him in high regard as one of the best players to ever play in Major League Baseball. I mean, you look at his numbers. I mean, 11-time All Star. He's won the AL MVP 3 times, and the other 4 times he didn't win it. He was runner up. I mean, a
I mean,
2012 Rookie of the Year. I mean, he's checked all the boxes except those milestone things. I think he has 398, maybe 400 home runs right now. So he's
he's
right.
almost to 400, I think.
Yeah, so he's right there, and he's got over 1,000 ribbies, and his batting average is 299, 300 career. I mean, you look at all those numbers. I mean, that's impressive. So, and over 200 stolen bases. So, and his on base is something ungodly, like 400 or something for his career. But then when you throw the metric of WAR, wins above replacement, those stats, his numbers are just off the chart. I mean, I think he is a Hall of Famer.
You think he's still pretty much a lock then?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you
So
think the question of 500 home runs is that like the milestone that he needs, or is it a World Series title? Is it a combo? Is it the
I think if he wins a World Series, I mean, he's only 34 years old. So realistically, I think he's in the middle of his 12-year contract that he signed back in 2019 with the Angels, something like $380 million or something. So he's not going anywhere. So if there's a chance for them to win, they're going to build it around him. So I think World Series would not hurt. I don't think he's probably going to win another MVP. I think those days are probably behind him, but I could easily see him hitting 25 home runs, knocking in 80 runs, stealing 15 bases, and batting 300. Maybe that gets him to 475, 480 home runs, something like that.
right there on
But
the doorstep then?
yeah, and I think that just makes him more of a lock. I mean, he's pretty much there right now, but you've got a lot of Hall of Famers that only have like 450, 440 home runs. Like you have Jeff Bagwell, the guys like that. I mean, there's some good players out there who Mike Trout's numbers are better. So
Well, hey, it'll be an exciting time to see if he makes it to Cooperstown, and we've got at least another 5, 6 seasons of Mike Trout on the base path. So it'll
yeah,
be
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'll put him at DH. I mean, God, the guy can hit. He can still rake. So
yeah.
I
He
mean,
might he might go till he's 40 then at that rate.
yeah,
Just
he's in incredible
like
shape
DH.
too. So I mean, he's a good athlete. That's number one. So
And he's a big isn't he like from Pennsylvania?
He's from New Jersey.
New
That's where he
Jersey.
was
All
born
right.
and raised. Yeah, but he's a big golfer. So a guy like that with that much talent wouldn't surprise me if all of a sudden he's a scratch golfer. In about in about 8 to 10 years. So
Well, hey, Mike, on that note, if you want to play golf with Patrick,
yes,
just reach out to us. If you want to talk cards, reach out to us, Mike. You're always welcome, man. Mike Trout, happy birthday.
yeah. Happy birthday.
Well,
So
hey, let's talk national, man, because that's been the big hot topic this past week. National just ended. So, do you think, based on what you've seen and read on the national, do you think that the hobby is the strongest it's ever been?
I would
Have
have
you
to.
gotten the fanatics thing, or
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I think there's more interest in collectibles and cards now based upon grading, based upon just people going for unique authentic items and just overall collecting. I mean, some of these cases and these case hits that come out that are being recorded live, I mean, that's unprecedented. I mean, we didn't have that 20 years ago. So I think that people like us getting out there talking about the hobby, there's more YouTubers, bloggers, there's people out there that are very interested in different parts of it. So I would say yes. I think I would honestly believe that the popularity is there.
well,
Um,
that and the fact that you and I've both seen, especially in the DFW market, like there are one, sometimes two card shows every weekend now.
yeah,
That
and,
that kind of harkens back to like the late 80s, early 90s, that kind of vibe.
yeah. Well, I mean, if there wasn't um, traffic at those things, obviously that they wouldn't have them. I mean, it's expensive
Yeah,
probably
the
to put something
promoters
like
aren't
that.
going to go to business just to have a card show. So,
Right. But I remember back in the day, you bring up a good point. Like I'd go to the national, not a national show, but it was a huge TriStar Productions show, like in
like a
Houston.
regional, a big regional
Yeah,
show.
a big regional show, and it was a big deal. I mean, you're at George R. Brown Convention Center in Houston. There's probably 100,000 people going to that thing for a few days. So it was a big thing. So and massive, just lots of dealers, lots of players signing. So it's kind of nice to see that still happens.
Right?
What's your opinion on, say, the non-sport cards driving some of this hobby as well? I know we've touched on that in the past.
Yeah, Pokemon. I mean, is there anything hotter in the market than Pokemon for at least like the past year, And the question would be like, is that bubble gonna burst anytime soon? I don't know, man. I just know like there's a whole planet full of Pokemon fans, and they do their Pokemon Go thing, and then they're like trying to put their playing card sets together, and you got like the Japanese cards, you got the American-made cards, but I also heard that now they even have Chinese-made, Chinese characters, maybe made in mainland China, Pokemon cards. And if
Oh, I did not know that.
that's
Okay.
dude, that is a huge market.
Yeah, and what's interesting is I know that they still play the game, and it's still popular with a lot of some of the collectors. But my kids are 9, and it's pretty funny. Like I asked them, I go, "Hey, do you guys want to play? Are you guys playing?" They get their Pokemon cards out. Are you guys playing the game? They go, "No, we're just organizing them by who the different what their different strengths are." And I was like, "What are you referencing here? How do you know what's going on here?" And my son Ian pulls out this book. It's like this big, and it has all the different. It's basically a 101 on how to figure out Pokemon. So me as the dad who has no idea about Pokemon, I'm a sports collectibles guy. I'm looking at it going, wow. Now I understand. There's different ways of classifying the Pokemons, and then the Pokemons change, they evolve, and that's a whole other thing that I was like, okay, an
Those that
evolving
know,
Pokemon.
know, right?
Yeah, but I mean, he started to organize his binder by the types of Pokemon characters they are,
So there's
and
like a team set for a sports card collector for
yeah,
Pokemon. Let's say the type of Pokemon.
yeah, the type of Pokemon, which I thought was pretty unique. I'm like, that's a great idea. Go ahead and do that. Because
Yeah.
obviously I'm selfish. I want him to transfer that knowledge and that thought into collectibles, into sports.
Hmm.
But I think that comes in due time. It has to start somewhere. So when you ask me if the hobby itself, on the collectible side, I think lots of collectibles are driving things. I mean, it's a lot of people are interested.
I mean, gym
So,
rate numbers, overall have been huge with the influence of Pokemon in their numbers. sports card numbers for grading have dropped a little bit, but who knows? You haven't had like the strongest classes of like rookies for like basketball and some of the other sports, football this past year, like not a strong rookie class overall. So
Right.
it impacts some of the grading numbers as well as the number of boxes being ripped and packs being opened and
Well,
that
yeah.
can influence that too. But overall, I can see where you're coming from saying, hey, the hobby, you had 125,000 at Fanatics Fest, and I'm hearing reports of over 150,000 at the National up in Chicago that just ended this past week.
Wow, that's great. No, that's good. That's good to hear.
Huge numbers, man, huge.
So what you're saying is we need a draft class with Arch Manning for football fans.
That's gonna have to wait, sir.
I
But
mean, that's going to
yeah.
be huge. So that's going to be fun. That's going to give another boost to it in what 2 years. So
Yeah,
we'll see what
it
happens.
comes out in 2027. Yeah,
Yeah,
probably will. I was gonna say the negative, the con of it all, the I guess you could say like as far as card grading companies going and the president of SGC moving on, and PSA saying, hey, we're going to make it more of a boutique type of grading service. I think that probably impacts, to me, a little bit of a negative in the hobby. BGS no longer being like one of the top two. I think the hobby might have been better back in regards to grading when there was,
yeah,
say, SGC, BGS, like you had your vintage. You had Beckett was strong, PSA was strong, and now you're looking at like CGC. And we'll see if they, do how well do they do without the Pokemon numbers. And what
yeah,
about Tag? Like Tag is not really known for sports. They're known for Pokemon. So if that bubble bursts, what's going that
yeah.
could
Yeah,
shit.
that's interesting because what does it do to the value overall? I mean, if you're going through all these different grading companies and you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, that's a beautiful card. That's a nine, but it's a CGC nine. We're like, okay, how does that compare? Like you mentioned to PSA, SGC, Beckett, or BGS, and then what does it do on the collectible side? I mean, do you go after that CGC card, or are you like, I got a nine? I mean, there's people who are still making money from this industry, obviously in this hobby. So if I,
I was gonna say, Patrick, I think the mantra in the hobby has always been buy the card, not the slab or the grade.
right,
So if you're looking at a CGC 9 of, let's just say it's a 1992, Mike or Mariano Rivera rookie card, Bowman 1992, and a 9, you know, would you pay the same amount for that CGC 9 as a PSA 9?
well, that's what I'm getting at.
That's
I
the
think
market, man.
when you
Like,
said the mantra, the mantra is like you buy the card, not the grade. I think people go out there and they look for, I think that they look for the grade of the graded card. There's some collectors that just do that. So
especially like if you're in that PSA registry, set registry, or player run registry, it's
yeah,
all about the grade in that PSA slab.
yeah,
And who knows if SGC will, if PSA will implement that at the SGC level to see growth. Why Beckett hasn't done this yet baffles me.
yeah. It's
I mean, the
interesting.
blueprint's there. I mean, Beckett huge, and throughout like the early aughts and all the way up to like 2018, 2020. It wasn't until COVID hit that they really kind of stumbled across some hard times. So
Yeah,
they got to grab that brand name and get that tradition going to build up, perhaps more folks submitting to them. And in light of the SGC news, that could happen. So, as much as I'm going to say like this hobby is as strong as it's ever been, and you have more packs being opened, and it's available in more places, you can find packs at like the pharmacy and convenience stores, and it's not as bad as it was like in the late '80s, early
right.
'90s, but it's right there on the doorstep. When you can go to Costco and buy product,
Yeah,
pretty, are you in Junk Wax 2.0? Are you in Junk Slab 1.0?
yeah. That's a good point. I mean, that's definitely a con. It's more you're bringing more product to the masses. I mean, that's just the way
Mhm.
business works. Not exactly. confident that that's the best way to do it. Let's keep these values a little bit as we go. Let's make it harder for you to find certain players, and if they're better players, then it should be that way for everybody. But just don't mass produce, please.
Well,
Please.
that and the fact that like the proliferation of like all these different rainbow numbered cards and
Yeah, that's crazy. That's I'm one day I'll figure it out. It hasn't happened yet.
well, I was
So,
just saying, and from what I've heard, like print runs are increasingly higher each year. It's inching upwards, and so you buy a box of cards, and it's harder to pull the hits.
yeah,
And
that's
so,
that's what, that's what I'm getting at.
is that a negative in this hobby then? Like,
Yeah,
hey,
that's what I'm getting. Because I mean, who's at some point people are gonna be like, well, why should I even buy that? I'm not gonna get anything. If that becomes the thought process, and we're talking about a case that cost $2,000. I mean, who's gonna be able to afford that? So
yeah, exactly. Probably not the two guys on this CardBlitz show spending 2 grand on
yeah,
a case of
yeah,
cards. Yeah.
I got braces around the corner. There's no way that's happening.
Yeah, yeah, not going through that with my two right now. The braces thing. The other thing I was going to mention though is the online breaking community. There's been some some negative, some bad news about that. Sure, you might get folks buying into this hobby, but then does that feed that gambling aspect of I got to get the hit and spending X amount of dollars and there's no regulation with it, and so some guy or girl pulls a hot card on the camera, something of value, and then they don't send it. Like, what recourse do you really have?
Right. Yeah.
So in many ways, yes, the hobby's growing. Is it as strong as it's ever been? I want to say yes, but I'm not convinced. And maybe
Yeah.
our viewers can, shed some light on these topics too and say, hey, guys, this is what I see. This is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. As long as card companies are not just popping up overnight and really flooding the market, I hope that there's not a card company that comes out in 2026 that no one's ever heard of, and they're like, oh, we offer 10 parallels per box, and you're like, great, let's buy these, and then all of a sudden it just gets all flooded, and then
You could say that with, like you're entering with Fanatics, you're going to be entering the age of monopoly with these with the sports and cards because you'll have Panini that'll do unlicensed product, but Fanatics Tops will take care of your MLB, NBA, NFL. Upper Deck will still have NHL. So Panini's going to be signing, your minor league athletes, and your retired athletes. And
yeah,
they can't even use like the full uniform and the logos.
it'll be some type of NIL play, and then those players will be getting paid on it on some of the
Yeah,
proceeds.
and Fanatics slash Tops has been able to scoop up some of those guys, at the college ranks for exclusive contracts, autograph contracts with their products.
Yeah,
So the days of the 90s having just, hey, you got 8 manufacturers with 24 different brands to choose from, depending on price point, those days are gone. You're gonna be like, hey, we have Tops and Panini with their unlicensed product and Upper Deck with their NHL stuff.
as long as the product still continues to impress and there's effort behind the design, and like we talked about, like as long as Topps Heritage keeps coming out
Hmm.
each year, I think those are pretty neat. Like, can you imagine the 77 throwback for next year on Topps Heritage? That's going to be really cool.
Well, fingers crossed that they come up with a clean design and they insert their
Yeah,
better, and maybe some of the folks can get some cool autograph cards. So, hey, we'll see if the hobby grows stronger from this point moving forward, or if it's going to weaken, and some folks will leave this hobby and say,
yeah,
hey, bad taste in my mouth, or it's no longer fun, or I've been priced out. Well, we'll see.
yeah, yep. That's true.
But again, viewers, let us know your thoughts. Is this hobby the strongest it's ever been? Let us know.
Yeah,
Well, man, let's get into some retro. You mentioned 1977. I was going to
I
get into
did,
1979 Tops football.
dude. That's a great set, Kelly. I mean, I'm pretty
Oh, I've
excited.
got my complete set, and it's in a binder because I like looking at my cards. But I pulled some to share. Big rookies. You've got Ozzie Newsome here.
Yep, yep.
He's got the he's focused. He's probably taking
I
a
agree with you.
breather.
Yep,
Yes,
I agree. I mean,
great card.
he's a huge rookie for this set.
Hey,
Great.
did you ever read the comic on the back? Read what it says on the back. It's
Oh
great.
yeah, I read this earlier when I pulled this. Yeah, that's pretty
That's,
cool.
his nickname is the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
I
pretty
thought that
wild.
was greatness, man. They call him the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
Uh, how about this rookie, James Lofton, Packer
yeah,
great
you bet. This
man,
one's I'm sending this into SGC. I'm going to tux this guy up because I always like James Lofton, and this card is pretty sweet.
man,
So
dude, you're batting like 1,000 when I said, hey, let's talk 1979 Topps football. Our minds are like in sync. This is
yeah,
crazy. Well, okay, how about this guy, Otis Sistrunk of the
oh,
Raiders?
nice. I did not pull that card. That's a cool one. That's good.
Now, Otis looks like a very friendly, kind, inviting kind of guy
Yeah, sure.
because, in the off season, Otis does extensive youth counseling. So I can
Okay.
imagine the life lessons and him, advising kids, hey, pass your classes, be well behaved. Otis could probably have a very positive impact on the youth back then.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But I mean, when we start talking about some of these rookies, some other our younger viewers may, that some people may forget about these guys.
Or
This
not
guy,
even be aware of Otis Sistrunk
this
or
guy was great, John
John
Jefferson.
Jefferson.
I
Definitely.
mean, he was amazing. And when I was going through my cards, I go, God, I got to show this. Um, it's pretty neat. I mean, he was an outstanding player. Um, he was one of the NFL's most outstanding rookies of '78. So he had over 1,000 yards receiving, which is pretty impressive for a rookie. So
No,
that's a great card.
definitely. Charger great.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. How about this guy from the Seahawks, Jim Zorn?
Yeah. That brings back, yeah, that's a lot of memories right there. And that's those days thrown to Steve Largent, and the two of them formed a bond it's still unbreakable today. I mean, I still think they're good buddies. So,
Yeah. Well, the comic on the back is another one that tops. Dude, they broke out the comedy on this one. They just wanted to let you know that young Jim Zorn back then, he was one of the Seahawks' most eligible bachelors.
just,
So that's 1979 culture back then, kids. Not so much today. I don't know if they can say that. So, but back then, tops pretty good sense of humor.
if they did, they put about 5 different hashtags on the back of that card.
Hey,
hashtag
you got
Seattle,
another one you want to show off?
hashtag Seattle man, hashtag this. My pride and joy of one of my PCs in my collection is probably the ultimate rookie of this set, Mr. Earl
Oh,
Campbell.
definitely, man.
I mean, he's amazing. And he's affiliated with a chewing tobacco firm, just so you know. that's the caption they put on the back here. Another throwback and another thing of the late '70s that probably doesn't fly well today.
And
But this is
I mean, that's one of his only three licensed cards, right?
it's sweet. It's a sweet card, man. It's great. I love it. So, um, yeah, he was a good one. So,
Oh,
Earl
Tyler
Campbell,
Rose, definitely, man. And speaking of Arch Manning, I pulled Archie Manning.
nice, nice.
Now the shocking stat on Archie here. 1979, I guess after the 78 season, he became known as the New Orleans Saints leading rusher of all time.
That's see. I was going to ask you on the
He
back,
must have
like
been running for his life, man. I need to.
what was his rookie card? What was his rookie card? Do you know,
I
Kelly?
would say, don't wasn't it like either 73? I think
Okay.
73 or 72 might have been his rookie. Because he came up in 71, but they usually waited a year or two into their playing career before they made the card.
Yeah, because I mean, he was, those Aints teams of the late '70s and early '80s. I mean, whew, they were. I mean, I'm glad they could pack some fans in, and they have diehard fans. I've been to a Saints game at the Superdome before. It's pretty fun, but wow, they had some bad
The back in
seasons.
the day, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, not the prettiest of sights, right?
that's right.
When they fell victim to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm sure they were like, what is going on here?"
Yeah.
Uh, the 79 tops, man. I don't know if you remember as a kid buying like the wax packs.
No, I didn't buy the wax packs of those
But
until,
back then they were about 20 cents and you had
yeah,
like 11 or you had 10 cards with a stick of gum. I did some research on this and then they're also sold in cello packs.
yep,
Those were like 11 per section with or 18 to 22 cards in a stick of gum. Do you remember the rack packs?
yep, oh yeah,
That folding?
yeah,
Dude, those ones you could get like 42, maybe 48 cards. And those were only like 69 cents back then.
yeah,
But, if you multiply that in today's dollars, you're probably looking at about $5.
yeah.
Back.
What's interesting is I've bought some old rack packs of baseball cards before, like 1976 Topps, which is we talked about Topps Heritage,
Hmm.
showing that card earlier. And it's kind of fun that some people got them out there on eBay, and it's pretty neat. You look around, it brings back a lot of memories when you look at some of those cards. So I'm
Well,
glad you brought the rack pack up because the rack pack was pretty popular.
one thing I didn't know before getting back in the hobby was the idea of vending boxes.
Yeah, I don't. That's unique.
Yeah, well, if you had a place that was like selling individual cards like in a gumball machine, it would
Yep.
drop out. So you put in a quarter and maybe the card would drop out. That's what those vending boxes. So vendors would like stack those things. So there was no gum, and apparently that usually meant like cleaner cards, sharper cards if you get the original like vendor box.
Okay.
And those were like $10, which would be, I mean, if you reckon inflation, everything's gone up like 5 times. What are you looking at? Like $250 in today's dollars,
Yeah.
1979. So not cheap for a vending box of 1979 Topps football.
Yeah. Pretty neat. Boy, you know how much it would be so much fun to open up a box of 79 Topps football right now, wouldn't it? Just a couple packs. I mean, wow, that would be great.
Dude, the memories would be awesome, man.
I may have to buy myself a Christmas present this year. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go some vintage packs,
Dude.
and we could bust
Well,
them out.
let me ask you this before we wrap up, man. Like, what do you like most about like the design and stuff on the 79 Topps?
I like the way the artwork is done. I like the fact that you get the football on the top here, and it has the name. It's not going across. It's not going. I don't. The ones down the side, I'm okay. I like this because you get a full picture of the player,
Right.
and it just looks sharp. That's what I like. And this on the back too, putting sets together and collecting. I like to be able to read the
Hmm.
back, and I think this is well. The lighting is good. The words are good. Anybody can read it without putting on, getting a magnifying glass. When sometimes the green on the
Hmm.
back or the blues are hard to read. I think this one turns out pretty well. So that's what I like about it. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I was just say the fact that like you showed like the ribbon with
Yep.
the football. I thought that was pretty cool. On the backs, one thing I didn't know is that there are actually two different variations of backs. So there's like a darker back and a lighter one. So that
Let's see.
and apparently they're valued about the same. So that's something I found of interest when I
I
was
did
doing.
not know that. I think all the ones I have are just this. Would this be classified as a lighter back then?
Yeah, that
Okay.
well, yeah. So like I said, if you're going through your binder or your a whole stack of them, you can look through and be like, oh, okay, this one is a little bit different. It's a little bit lighter than the other ones.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's something that I learned today.
Yeah.
Well done, Kelly. Well done.
Welcome to CardBlitz, right?
Yeah, well
We're
done.
here to educate the masses, man. Well, time to stump you, man.
Let's do it. Let's
About that
go.
time. So we're gonna go back to your Houston Astros.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna have to put on your Astros cap and think. All right, so who was the first major league pitcher, hint, Astros, who was the first major league pitcher to go a perfect 15-0 at home?
Whoa.
So
Okay.
four choices here.
Okay.
All right, choice number one is it A, J.R. Richard?
Okay.
Is it B, Nolan Ryan? Is it C, Roy Oswalt? Is it D, Dallas Keuchel?
Woo. So when you started mentioning this,
J.R. Richard,
I thought to
Nolan
myself,
Ryan.
J.R. Richard was my answer. But you bring in Roy Oswalt, that kind of throws a curveball. Let's see. Uh, Perfect 15-0 at home.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go with C, Roy Oswald.
Roy Oswald. You answered like 22.7% of America. You are wrong.
Hey,
The correct answer is D for Dallas Keuchel.
I'm surprised. Wow, that's
The year was
interesting.
2015, and he won a perfect 15 and 0.
That's amazing. I did not see that one coming. So,
Yeah, hey,
whew, that's awesome.
Astros, right?
Yeah, I love how you pulled out the Astros trivia. Good for you, man.
Yeah, I'll do that for you once a year, Patrick, for you and
Okay.
the Astros.
Well, it's perfectly fitting because the Astros are winning their division. So let's see if they can keep that going. But they have played pretty bad lately, the
Well,
last
I
10 games.
mean, hey, the Mariners are hot. The Rangers kind of getting there.
Rangers are getting there. I mean, I can't figure them out either. I mean, I mean,
They've
are
been
they a
bad.
playoff team? They could be.
Well,
So,
they made their trade to lock down the back end of that bullpen, so we'll see if the Rangers pull it off, man.
yeah.
If not, you'll be rooting for the Astros, and I'm sure there's some Mariners fans that watch these episodes with us, and they're probably pulling for their team too.
Well, the fact that the Astros picked up Carlos Correa, he came back in a Houston uniform, and they barely gave up anything to get him. I was like, that's a swift move. I'm like, all right, they're making a push. So you like to see that as a fan.
In the
So
familiar confines, right?
that's right. And he's going to play third base because Jeremy Pena, the young, incredible shortstop for the Astros, kind of pushed him out when he went to Minnesota. So it's good to see Correa come back home and he wants to do third base and he's okay with that. Kind of like an A-Rod thing back in the day.
Yeah,
So,
utility and just whatever helps the team, and he's going
yeah.
to try to get that another World Series ring. Well, on that note, man, certainly want to thank our viewers. Thank you, Patrick, for making time, partnering up, man, and
Yep.
making this episode happen. Definitely want folks to reach out, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, tell their friends, get the notification bell thing going. If y'all got questions or thoughts, throw those comments at the bottom of the YouTube video or reach out to us at info@blitzweekly.com. Now, on that note, catch y'all later.
Yep. See you guys later. See you next week.